Hello everyone! Hello to my classmates, to our professor, Ma'am Shirley Juneda. I'm Merly A. Abituela, teacher of Claudio Villahen Elementary School. I'm your discussant for today. My topic is all about theory of emotion. By the way, what are the feelings and emotion? So when we say feelings are mental experience or body state which arises as the brain interprets the emotion. Physically state arising from the body response to external stimuli. That is according to Antonio Damasio, neuroscience professor at the University of California. It means that feelings is a mental association and reaction to emotion. It means cause of emotion. Feelings are something that we feel from within or inside ourselves. Feelings never remain the same for too long. They keep changing. We are exerting and giving our energy to the things that only bring us down. The most common way we do is by criticizing ourselves. What we feel is depend on your emotion. Example, you are angry right now, or happy, sad, lonely, bored, in love, and enjoyment. You will feel and recognize the emotions, what you feel right now. Emotions. You can feel emotions through emotional experience in your life. Emotions are conjoined with thoughts, actions, experience, desires, and belief. It can be observed through physical reaction. Halimbawa, kapag ikaw ay galit at ikaw na ay sumisigaw, naiiba na ang tono ng boses, malakas na ang boses, umiiyak, and sometimes we cannot control our emotions. It means emotions are the names given to our feelings. They describe the way we feel at the different times, enable us to process the situation we are in and how you are responding on it. Our emotion can change quickly from one moment to the next, and sometimes certain emotion can last a long time. Different between feelings and emotion is that feelings are experienced consciously, while emotions manifest either consciously or subconsciously. This means sometimes they happen without us even realizing. Minsan, kapag galit na tayo, hindi mo na alam minsan ang tama sa mali. Sa tindi ng nararamdaman ng emosyon, minsan nakakasakit na tayo sa ating kapwa. Minsan tinatapo natin ang mga bagay na ating nakikita or maipakita lamang natin na tayo ay galit. Nakakapanakit tayo, wala na tayong pakialam kung anuman ang sabihin ng ibang tao, basta't mailabas natin ang galit na meron tayo. Pero pagkatapos noon, mayroong pagsisising magaganap kung bakit nagawa mo ang mga bagay-bagay na yon. Ibig sabihin, nagkakaroon, may refleksyon na nagaganap dahil nasa maayos na kondisyon na ang iyong pag-iisip at ang emosyon. Napakahirap talagang i-manage at kontrolin ang emosyon. Lagi nang magkalaban ang isip at emosyon. Kapag namayani ang emosyon over the mind, ang hirap kontrolin dahil makakagawa tayo ng desisyon na pwede po nating pagsisihan sa huli. Kaya kinakailangan natin na magkaroon ng EI, Emotional Intelligence, or EQ, Emotional Quotient. Emotional quotient is the ability to understand and manage your own emotion and those of the people around you. Why is it important? When we are in touch with our emotion, we have choice. We are enabled to take control of our emotions and our actions rather than letting our emotion control us. Emotionally intelligent people have self-awareness. Don't let the weakness hold them back. They know what they are feeling. We can make a good decision if we manage our emotion well. Arousal, behavior, and cognition. Let's say for example, someone cuts you off on the road. You may feel the emotion of anger. Emotion are mix of expressive behavior, yelling, accelerating, action to a situation. And then, the bodily arousal, it means reaction. Example, sweat, pounding heart, nervous, muscles becomes weak or shock. Conscious experience, thoughts, especially the leveling of the emotion. What about driver? I am angry, even scared. Better calm down. How do these components of emotion interact and relate to each other? Do our thoughts trigger our emotions, or are they a product of our emotions? How are the bodily signs triggered? How do we decide which emotion we are feeling? So, an emotion is a full of body, mind, behavior response to a situation. It means we have the conscious experience on what is the right things to do in that situation. So, it needs to be relaxed and calm down to decide the best solution. So, we have a theories of emotion, the arousal and cognition. Okay, chicken and egg debates. Which came first? The chicken or the egg? Or did they evolve together? Which happened first? The body changes that go with an emotion, or the thoughts or conscious awareness and leveling of an emotion, or do they happen together? So, theories of emotion. For James-Lange theory, physiological arousal first before the emotion. But according to Cannon-Barn theory, said that physiological arousal and the same times with emotion happen simultaneously or happen at the same time. But according to Schachter-Singer, two-factor theory, physiological arousal first and then emotion with cognitive appraisal or label is added. Okay. For number 1, let us discuss James-Lange theory, body before thought. According to him, we feel afraid because we tremble, sorry because we cry. For James-Lange theory, state that emotion is our conscious awareness of our physiological response. Our body arousal happen first, and then the cognitive awareness and label for the feeling I'm angry. According to this theory, if something that make us smile, we make then feel happy. So, emotion is the result of the interpretation of the body reaction. It means that physiological arousal come first before emotion. Example, you are walking down in a road late at night and hear footstep. So you begin tremble, your heart beat faster, and your breathing becomes deep. Those are physiological reaction to the event. And after the physiological changes, you experience fear of emotion. So, reaction of the body to the stimuli before the emotion. Okay, I have here some slides for better understanding about the theory. Emotion from William James and Carl Lange came up with the James-Lange theory of emotion. We feel emotion because of biological changes caused by stress. So, the body changes and our mind recognize the feeling. Okay. So, the event is that the man holding the bolo in response to the event or stimulus, you are thinking that you might be hurt by him. So, you started to raise your heart. You feel trembled and you do not know what to do. So, those are the physiological response, and after that, na maranasan mo yun, saka mo lang malalaman na ikaw ay takot, that's the emotion. Another example, I see a man by the parked car. So, the stimulus is the shadowy figure of man in parking lot at night. So, I am tremble and running away. That is the physiological arousal and behavioral changes. So, I am afraid. So, that is a subjective experience of emotion. It means that first is the stimulus or the event. The second is the physiological arousal and changes of behavior. And after that is the emotion. Okay. That is a theory for James-Lange theory. Okay, let's proceed to number 2. Cannon-Barn theory, simultaneous body response and cognitive experience. So, according to Cannon-Barn theory, assert that we have a conscious cognitive experience of an emotion at the same time as our body is responding, not afterwards. So, human body responses run parallel to the cognitive responses rather than causing them. So, for the theory, emotions are not just a separate mental experience when our body responses are blocked. Emotion do not feel as intense. Our cognition influence our emotion in many ways, including our interpretations of stimuli. Is that a threat? Then, I'm afraid. It means body arousal and emotional experience occur simultaneously. Example, you are walking down a dark on a road late at night. You hear footsteps behind you. You begin to tremble. Your heart beats faster and your breathing becomes deep. So, at the same time, your physiological changes occur. You also experience the emotion of fear. I have here slides for Cannon-Barn theory of emotion. Okay, that is the snake. Physiological reaction raises heartbeat or pounding heart. So, the physiological changes and cognitive awareness must occur simultaneously. Okay. They believe it was the thalamus that helped this happen. So, physiological reaction, races of heartbeat, pounding heart, and then at the same time, you experience emotions of fear or fear emotion. I am scared, then I'm trembled. So physiological reaction and emotion happened at the same time. Okay? For Cannon-Barn theory of emotion, physiological response or the bodily response and then the emotion happened at the same time. Okay. Example, I see a man by that parked car. So, the stimulus is the shadowy figure of man in a parking lot at night. And then, simultaneous experience of conscious emotion and physiological arousal. So, I'm afraid and trembling. It means stimulus and then physiological reaction or physiological arousal and then emotion happen at the same time or happened simultaneously. For number 3, theory, Schachter-Singer two-factor theory, emotion equals body plus a cognitive level. Okay, the Schachter-Singer two-factor theory suggests that emotion do not exist until we add a label to whatever body sensation we are feeling. In their study, the subject experienced a spillover effect what arousal was caused by injections of what turned out to be adrenaline. Which means adrenaline, yung mga bagay na hindi natin kayang buhatin, pero nabubuhat natin without our conscious because of adrenaline hormone. The subject interpreted their agitation or anxiety to whatever emotion the others in the room appeared to be feeling. The emotional label spilled over or the strong emotion from others. Example, I face a stranger and my heartbeat is pounding. Is it fear, excitement, anger, lust, or did I have too much caffeine? The label completes the emotion. So we have the conscious awareness of mind to emotion. It means the two factor to experience emotion. First, the environmental stimuli elicit a physiological response. Second, we cognitive appraise this physiological activity and try to give it the correct label. So we have the body arousal, the emotions, but the emotion has a label. Another example, the perception of stimulus, which is the sight of oncoming car. So we have a pounding heart, the bodily arousal, and we have the cognitive label, I'm afraid. So, bodily arousal and cognitive label happened at the same time, and after that, we have a label of emotion, which is afraid, and after the label, we notify that we have a fear of emotion. To experience emotion, one must be physically aroused, and we have the cognitively label the arousal. So, another example,
is, I see a man by that parked car. So the stimulus is the shadowy figures of the man in a parking lot at night. So I am trembled. I am trembling. So that is the physiological arousal. Plus, I'm trembling because of fear. So we have here a cognitive level for arousal. I'm afraid. So that is the conscious awareness or the conscious emotion. Another one is the summary of the theories. For the theories of emotion, we have a James-Lange theory, pounding heart, arousal, or the bodily arousal, and then emotion. For Cannon-Barn theory is physiological arousal, and then emotion happened at the same time. For Schachter-Singer two-factor theory, stimulus, and then physiological reaction and the cognitive label happen at the same time. And after labeling, we have a exact label of emotion, which is fear. Okay, we have the basic emotions: happiness, anger, fear, surprise, sadness, and disgust. When it comes to having a special needs child, there is one thing you are guaranteed to deal with, and that is emotion. It can be hard to read emotions, hard to understand emotions, and hard to deal with
Effective ways to calm an angry child. First, stop being difficult. Try to say, I know it's tough, but we can work this out together. Huwag kang magpahirap. Mabuting sabihin na, alam kong maghirap, pero kaya natin tong dalawa. Kapag ang bata ay hindi sumunod sa iyo, mabuting alamin mo kung ano ang dahilan nito. Dahil ipinapakita nito na you are on the same team, working toward the same goal. Bumuo ng matibay na samahan sa inyong anak kung bakit hindi mo subukang iresolba ang inyong problema kasama ang inyong anak imbes na magalit at patulan ang pagiging matigas niya. For number 2, stop throwing things, or try to say, do not like or want your toys? Is that what's wrong? Huwag mong ihagis iyan. Mabuting sabihin na gusto mo ba o ayaw mo ng laruan? Anong problema, anak? Ang katagang iyan ay makakatulong upang magsimulang i-open ng anak mo kung ano ang kanilang perspective or kagustuhan. Ito rin ang magsisilbing simula ng inyong pag-uusap na makakatulong upang maresolba ang problema. For number 3, you are getting a timeout, or try to say, let's go calm down together. Tumigil ka na nga. You're getting timeout, or mas mabuti na sabihin, kumalma tayo parehas, anak. Let's go calm down together. Mas makakatulong sa samahan ng mag-ina kung nagsasama ito ng madalas kesa sa iiwasan. Okay, for number 4, I can't deal with you behavior right now. Or try to say, I'm getting frustrated and need to calm down. Hindi ko na kaya yang ginagawa mo. Naiinis na talaga ako, pero kailangan kong kumalma. Yun po ang dapat sabihin. I'm getting frustrated and need to calm down. Teach children how to label and govern their emotions by modeling this in real time. Mahalagang malaman ng mga bata na direkta mong sabihin kung bakit sila nagagalit imbes na magpakita ng hindi makatwiran na gawain. For number 5, stop saying no. Try to say, I understand you. You don't want this? Let's figure out what we can do differently. Tumigil ka sa kasasabi mo ng ayaw mo na or hindi, or stop saying no. Mabuting sabihin, naiintindihan ko na ayaw mo nito. Kaya subukan natin na intindihin parehas ito, anak. I understand you, you don't want this. Let's figure out what we can do differently. Ang pagsuko sa no ng isang bata ay nagpapakita ng pagkumbinsi mo dito. Imbis na makipag-away, bakit hindi mo sabihin sa anak mo na kung bakit ka pinagbabawalan mo siya sa particular na bagay at kung ano ang dulot nito sa future. Mabuting magtayo ng matibay na pundasyon para sa inyong mag-ina. For now, tulungan natin ang mga bata na i-manage ang kanilang emosyon or magkaroon sila ng emotional intelligence upang sa ganon mabalanse nila kung ano ba ang nararapat na emosyon sa bawat sitwasyon. Educators need to encourage children to feel their feelings, to decide whether and how to express and act on them, and above all, to decide how to cope with them. Children need to accept, sort out, identify, label, integrate, and appropriately express their feelings. A powerful way to teach is to through modeling their behavior you want a child to learn. Part of the socialization process involves learning to know in each instance whether or not to express feelings. If expressing them is acceptable, then how to express them appropriately becomes the next decision. The ultimate decision is whether to act on the feelings, and if acting is in the right things to do, how to act in socially appropriate ways. Obviously, children learn a lot about feelings at home by observing their family members. They also learn from the response they get when they express feelings. So, placing values on feelings, teaching children what to feel and what not to feel can do great harm. So children constantly receive unspoken message about how to reach to situation through adult facial expressions, the body language, the postures, and even muscle tone. The adult's job is to teach the children to recognize and express their feeling, especially anger. The idea is for the children to express the feeling fully and to work through. Teach young children to express angry feeling without hurting anyone or anything is a goal for every educators. So accepting and labeling the feeling, redirecting the energy, and helping the child get it out. Calming the energy, soothing the chaos, avoiding a reward for anger, teaching problem solving. And also, we have the strategy on how to cope with the feelings or the emotions of our children. That is what we call the rerun. When we say rerun, is R refers to reflect, E, explain, R, reason, and U, understand, and N, negotiate. That is the strategy on how to deal the emotion of children, especially with children with special needs. That's all my report, and thank you for listening.